Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today I am here with the update for my Yuh-portfolio, and you can see immediately I added BKW and AXA to my Yuh-portfolio. In total now I have 4,630.84 Swiss francs, and yeah, Copilot really did me a favor with generating this image. I asked for a white van with BKW on the side and underneath the words insured by AXA. And which car did it pick? I pick a Volkswagen Caddy. So I'm really happy about that. It's really nice to have a Volkswagen car because it really suits my portfolio. Because yeah, I have Volkswagen in my portfolio as well. So unbelievable, but Copilot did something right. And my wage got paid on the 25th. So on that day, in the morning, I deposited 200 Swiss francs into my Yuh account. So my Yuh account went from 84.10 Swiss francs to 284.10 Swiss francs. And yeah, I always do my research on the 24th or the day before my wage gets paid. So that's the evening of the 24th. So the quadrant that you will see in the next slide is with numbers from the end of the trading day of the 24th, and all the numbers with the results for my Yuh-portfolio, they are from the end of the trading day of the 27th of February. Today it's the 1st of March because yeah, it's early in the morning. I couldn't sleep anymore, so I said I promised a video Sunday morning, so I'm going to record this video. And you always see my quadrants. I always start with the buyable quadrant, and Volkswagen is still one of the buyable shares, but I decided to buy AXA. I was already doubting last month to add AXA to my portfolio, but then the choice went to Swiss Re because yeah, I changed the PE value there on which I could buy it, and so far it's been a great decision. Maybe Swiss Re is going to drop again, and then I will pick up more shares of Swiss Re for sure. And then of course BKW, with the setback after their declaration of having to write off 110 million, it dropped down, and it dropped down below the PE that I'm interested in buying BKW, so it's 16.66 that I bought it at, more or less, because it rose a little bit in on Wednesday morning. So I bought it at a little bit more expensive, but still below a PE of 17. And yeah, then BASF is for me still a really interesting share. Maybe it's going to come down because they reported earnings and people weren't that impressed, but their earnings per share for the past quarter was excellent and it beat expectations. So I'm still happy with owning BASF, and also when I can pick some extra shares up. And then of course we have Shell, which is still noted below 13.5 PE, at least for me, because for me I calculate the earnings per share as 2.63. For a lot of other investors it's lower, but we will see when they report their results. Then buyable but needs to drop. There I moved Logitech from the non-buyable section to the buyable but needs to drop, and I moved Siemens to the next one. For the rest it's all the same, and Holcim it's 20.30 PE. We will need that number later down the line in this video because I'm going to talk about Amrize as well. You know that I sold Amrize and it's gone here, so no more 21 shares in my quadrant overview, but I added two others, you will see in a minute. And buyable but, there Swiss Re moved from the buyable to the buyable but, and BKW went from the buyable but to the buyable section. And not buyable, still Enel and Eni. I don't understand why they are trading up so much in Italy, because their numbers are still not that great. But yeah, Enel, I corrected this one. Their debt is now 57.5 billion. It was 55, around 55 billion, so it's not that great that it went up, but on my previous videos it was still noted that it was 65 billion, so that was not correct. It's 57.5 billion, so correction there. And for Swatch, they moved up a lot in the past month and a half, especially in the past month, and I believe that now I should strike out the perception and the China thing that pulls Swatch down. So yeah, I stroke it out like this. So just with the option in PowerPoint to still leave the text, but put a line through it. But next time, I think I will delete this text, and then probably I will start to move it to buyable but on the other hand, for me, Swatch, it's now more on the expensive side. They still need to improve on their numbers. It's a good share to own. I have one share and I'm not going to sell it in any ways. But yeah, now it's trading at around 200 Swiss francs. So I'm up with Swatch now. But yeah, it's difficult for me to buy it at such prices. And you will say, hey, when it's trading at 140, you are not buying it because the perception isn't good. And now that it's trading at 200, you are saying, hey, I can move it to buyable, but I'm not going to buy it. You are all over the place. Yes and no. I have my view, and I really like this view. And when I'm putting it in buyable, but that's just because I want to pay more attention to the stock. And when it then moves to the buyable section, then I will buy it. I don't buy it in this section, I don't buy it in this section, and I certainly don't buy it in this section. And then the two shares that I'm following as well, and you know that I like Prozis a lot. Prozis is actually now pretty buyable share for me. It would be in this segment for me right now, but I can't buy it on the Yuh platform, unfortunately. I really think it's a pity that Yuh is a great broker, but you have limited choices there. So take that into account. I picked it because it's really cheap to trade on, and it had 20 shares that I'm interested in. I'm also interested in AD and Colruyt, but Colruyt I can't trade on Yuh or buy on Yuh, but AD I can buy. And yeah, about 3-4 months ago, it was trading at a PE of 12.8, and I was doubting whether or not I should include AD instead of Amrize. So that was also a reason why I decided to sell Amrize in order to be maybe at AD as a 21 share, because I already had then a view of 21 shares. But yeah, since then, since actually I made my video about retailers in Europe, AD is on an upward trend, so maybe my video made a difference. And yeah, since then, you look at it, it's now at a PE of 16.53. It's trading above 41 euros, which is incredibly good for the shareholders of AD. But now it's wide away from my buyable level. And SAP, it was moving down because of the software as a service providers problem, where they think that all those AI tools are going to replace software as a service providers, and SAP is one of them. And it dropped, and I started to be interested in including it as well. But yeah, it's moving so fast. The last week it picked up speed once again, and now it is back to 26.58 PE. It was at around 23 PE, so also wide away from my PE of 18. And it's the same with Siemens. It's also wide away from my level of PE of 18. Great companies, Siemens and SAP. So when you own them, don't sell them. They are, yeah, they are incredible companies. When you keep them for the long term, you will no problem make money on them. But you need to be in it for the long term. So what did I buy? I bought one piece of BKW at a price of 145.6 Swiss francs, and in total I spent 146.71 Swiss francs to buy one share of BKW. And it's been about 11 months that I bought one share of BKW. It was then my second buy, and once again I'm buying it cheaper. My first buy was around 155 Swiss francs. Then my second buy 11 months ago, it was around 150 Swiss francs. And now I could pick up one share for 145.60 Swiss francs. So just incredible. And that's all because of a coal plant in Germany where they said, okay, it's going to bring less. So we do a paper write-off of 110 million. You can go to my previous Yuh update. At the end of that video, I talk more in depth about BKW. And of course, they also gave a low guidance for 2026. And yeah, for me, BKW, it's a well-diversified company. We here in the canton of Bern, we also have BKW as a provider of energy. They swapped out the counters, the electrical counters. So I think they have something in mind to alter the billing system. I hope they don't start doing the same as in Belgium with the peak performance and calculating with that. That would be a really a shame. But yeah, when they do that, they will earn a lot more money, and hopefully not from me, but from other people that are not that considering when they use power. But on the other hand, they are still expanding in Europe, and they are buying companies strategically, and they are investing, in my opinion, in the right things. And they keep improving on their infrastructure, and they are really, yeah, envisioning a future where there are more electrical cars around. So when that is the case, you really need a good infrastructure, because otherwise your power net is going to fail. And when that's the case, nobody wants to do business with you. So they are improving on all of those fronts, and I'm really happy about that, and owning already three pieces of BKW. And then on the low guidance for 2026, you know that I said it before, BKW, they always do it when they have investors call. Now it was for giving out their numbers of 2025. They always come out with a low guidance for the year to come. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit annoying that they do that, but on the other hand, I understand it. They don't want to disappoint at the moment that they come out with the numbers. And now as well, they may be right, because there is less volatility on the market right now, on the electricity market, and they also make a lot of money. A lot. They make money with trading electricity around. So perhaps they will make less money. It also has to do with the coal plant in Germany, of course, that's going to bring less power. At least that is what they are saying. And that's why they did the write-off of 110 millions. And because of that, they didn't hit their targets for 2025. although with the 110 millions that was just the paper write-off added, they hit the guidance completely. So I don't know what they are going to do next, so this year or next year when they report the results of 2026, how they are going to change the numbers again so that they meet their own guidance and not the guidance of the analyst following BKW. And then I bought 3 shares of AXA, so for a price of 40.35 euros. Once again, it's the fourth buy of AXA that I'm doing, and it's at the most expensive price that I'm buying shares of AXA right now. So maybe you think, hey, you are increasing your average buy of AXA, but still it's really well priced. It has a PE below my target PE, so yeah, I'm doing everything right according to my own rules. And I believe that when you have the opportunity to invest into a company that you like and it's at a reasonable price with the knowledge that you have at that time, then you should do it. And you know that my wife and I, we are insured at AXA and we like their excellent service a lot, especially for the travel insurance. So when we have a problem when we are traveling, we call them and within a few hours we are helped, and that is a big deal. When you are abroad and you get help, yeah, that's really an insurance that we can rely upon, and yeah, we like AXA for that. And the thing that we didn't like that much is we got our car insurance bill and they increased our bill with 15%. The reason being that the spare parts that come in from abroad into Switzerland, they are becoming more and more expensive. And of course, the labor of the people working on the cars here in Switzerland is also increasing. But adding 15%, that's just insane. And I can imagine that some people will switch because of this. My wife and I, we are not going to switch, but I'm going to talk with my insurer, with our filial here in our neighboring town, and I will say that I don't appreciate it that they are increasing our premium with 15%, although we didn't had an accident in for as long as that we are driving, in fact. So it's really annoying that we need to pay more because other people are screwing things up. But yeah, that's an insurance, of course, so you have to take it as it comes. But yeah, once again, 15%, that's just insane. And on the other hand, when you look at AXA, it is a well diversified insurance company. It has policies in life, it has policies in health, it has policies in property segments, and this offers resilience through economical cycles. So even though, yeah, with an insurance company, you always have the fear of when something goes wrong, especially with a storm or something like a storm in France, and AXA is really strong in France, so that they need to pay a lot of money to their clients, but they are really broadly diversified. So they also have life insurance. They also have a third pillar here in Switzerland that they offer. So in that regard, it's always going to have an impact, of course, when a disaster strikes somewhere in the world where AXA is present. But on average, they will come out positively at the end of the year. They also have a strong solvency ratio I think it even increased further in the past year. So it's now more or less around 221, 222%. But the last number that I could find was 220%. And then what the analysts are saying that is that AXA isn't growing that fast in Europe anymore. But yeah, it's insurance business is a highly competitive business. That's also why I don't like that they increase their premium with 15% on their core insurance, because yeah, a lot of people will switch because of this, and that's not the right way to communicate as well, just with a letter and saying, hey, because the prices went up of spare parts. When you don't have accidents and you read that, you're not happy. So on the other hand, I believe that it's also a good thing that AXA isn't growing that fast, because you're an insurance company, you need to know what is going to happen, you need to know what money is going to come in, and you need to have good statistics behind your premiums. So hopefully they have really good grounds to increase the premium with 15%. But yeah, once again, I'm afraid of what impact it's going to have here in Switzerland on their car insurances that they sold or going to lose. And then back to our portfolio. So on the 27th of February, I deposited 200 Swiss francs on the 25th. And in total now I have deposited 4,100 Swiss francs. And the total on Yuh is 4,630.84 Swiss francs. You already saw that on the first slide of this presentation, this video. So 4,630.84 Swiss francs, which means that I have a profit now of more than 2 months of contributions, which is really nice. And I have a balance left over of 24.41 Swiss francs. So all the proceeds of selling Amrize, they are now back into our portfolio, and I'm back to a spare balance of 24.41 Swiss francs. Before the sell, I had a balance of around 40 Swiss francs, so I even upped the invested amount a bit compared to before the sell of Amrize. And here is now an overview of all our investments, and they are all in the green. Before I bought AXA on Wednesday morning, it was still in the red with 10 euros, but after I bought it, it started moving up and up and up and up, and now it's already 1 euro above the price that I bought it at. So it goes really fast, but you know, it goes in the other direction as well. So it can become red pretty fast. And with BKW, that one moved up as well after I bought it. And it's also 1 Swiss francs more expensive now than at the price that I bought it. And now I'm slightly in the green with 3.80 Swiss francs. So yeah, nothing to complain about here. And maybe when you are really fast and calculate all the numbers here together, although it's a bit hard with the euros compared to the Swiss francs that you always recalculates everything against, and you will see that this number is a little bit higher than all the prices that you see here, because we also have Swiss coins, of course. And we got 5 Swiss coins from the buy of BKW. We also got 5 Swiss coins for the buy of AXA. And we had 390 Swiss coins before, so now we have a total of 400 Swiss coins. And on the Yuh platform, you only have the sell button, so you can only sell. I don't know how they are going to do it when everybody on Yuh is going to hit that sell button, because yeah, I'm just gathering and gathering and gathering. I already have 8.39 Swiss francs, and they always keep increasing the price, so you don't have an incentive to sell your Swiss coins. It's maybe the only time when people see that it starts dropping, that they all will start selling, or maybe when everybody starts selling, that it's going to come down. But I wonder where they are going to get the money from, or maybe they have a huge pile of money laying around. With every trade that you do, that they put a little bit of money aside. But yeah, with increasing the price every time a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, they need to have already a lot of money aside right now. So I don't know how they are going to do it. If you work at Yuh and you know how this is done, please let me know in the comments down below, because I don't know whether or not I should already sell this position, and when I sell, do I need to pay 1 Swiss francs as a trading cost as well? I don't know. So it would be interesting to know that as well. And here is then the roundup for our Yuh-portfolio, or for my Yuh-portfolio. So 4,630.84 Swiss francs. Here you see the graph, and because of my additions, so in the beginning it was 500 Swiss francs, the beginning of September of 2024. And then, yeah, since then, it's 16 months that I contributed every end of the month. So starting in September of 2024 till now, February of 2026, I added 18 times, I should say, 18 times. I added 200 Swiss francs. So in total, 4,100 Swiss francs. And yeah, the graph goes only up into the right, but that's always the case. So when you see that from other YouTubers and you see their graph moving up, you always have to consider how much they are contributing. So here, this part, this was the tariffs of Trump. There, my portfolio went down, but because I added more money, so my usual 200 Swiss francs at that time, and I invested, and the market recovered thereafter, yeah, you only see a graph that moves up. It's at a time when your portfolio becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and your 200 Swiss francs actually is only a small fraction of your portfolio, that you truly see your portfolio do its thing. And then people say, yeah, your deposits don't matter anymore. But as I said in a previous video, every 200 Swiss francs is actually a beginning of its own journey, and you should continue to just keep adding to your portfolio. So I have a cash position of 24.41 Swiss francs. So far, I invested 4,229.53 Swiss francs. So that is with cost, with exchange cost, and reinvested dividends included. Because yeah, I already invested 129.53 Swiss francs more than when I started with what I actually added to my portfolio. But you know, I get dividends. I also sold Amrize, and Amrize I got for, yeah, between brackets, for free from Holcim. So that makes a huge difference, of course. And my investments are now worth 4,606.43 Swiss francs. It's always a difference here, but you know that my stocks are worth more or less 4,598.04, and the crypto is worth 8.39 Swiss francs. The current profit or loss on the stocks is 368.51, so a plus of 8.71%. And compared to last month, this means an increase of 223.76 Swiss francs. So making up the loss of 182.19 Swiss francs from last month. Although then I didn't reinvest all the money of Amrize yet. Now I did do it, and I also said already that I added a little bit extra. So I declined my cash position from more or less 40 Swiss francs to 24.41 right now. So yeah, it's an increase of 223.76 Swiss francs, but it's also because I added a little bit extra cash that I had laying around or laying aside, and I also needed to add the amount that I still didn't invest from Amrize. And the total profit and loss on my deposited amount, so compared to the 4,100 Swiss francs, I am up 530.84 Swiss francs. And that's a plus of 12.95%. And of this, 12.19% is from dividends because I already received 64.71 Swiss francs in dividends, and the rest, 466.13 Swiss francs, is from price appreciation of my shares that I own. And here you can see the future predicted dividends. So with adding one extra share of BKW, my total expected amount brut dividend of BKW moves up to 10.20 Swiss francs. And for AXA, I went from 10 to 13 shares, and there my total to be expected euros in dividend are 25.74 euros. And that's all brut, so brutto dividend. It's in total 58.54 Swiss francs and 121.08 euros, bringing together to 168.48 Swiss francs. And this is with 1 euro being 0.908 Swiss francs. So the currency here also has an effect. It was 170.45 with 0.928, and then I changed it and it moved down. And my current yield right now is 3.66%, and my yield on cost is 3.98%. So my rule of 300, it's yeah, only 0.02% away, because you need to have 4% in order to make the rule of 300 work. But I'm not too worried about that. It's just a thing that, yeah, the Yuh-portfolio is moving up. That's why my amount of price appreciation is moving up as well. That's what my portfolio needs to do. And yeah, then in April and May, I will receive around 170 Swiss francs. I will reinvest those euros and Swiss francs coming in and keep adding to my portfolio. And with doing that, you will see that on Getquin, my portfolio will rise as well. You know that you need to click here with the portfolio value and then go to max, or I will put it now at 1 year, where you see the same thing, of course, because all the time when I add 200 Swiss francs, you see the bar rising here with the invested amount going up. And sometimes it's a bit nice that you see that it moves down with the sell of Amrize, and then it moves up again, and now it goes in two stages because I bought BKW and AXA in two goes. So yeah, it's I really like Getquin. You know that I like Getquin, and now the dividends for 2027, when you look at that, it's already 185.08 with the dividend CAGR calculated behind it. So also for 2026, they already say that I will have more dividends compared to what I calculate myself, but I calculate based on the dividend from 2025. They calculate it on basis of 2025 plus the dividend CAGR that they calculated. And for them, it will be 175.05 is their prediction. If that is true, yeah, I will be stoked. So hopefully they are right and I'm a bit wrong. And I'm only 15 Swiss francs away from earning 200 Swiss francs in 2027. And yeah, that's just amazing that I will reach that then soon. And here you see realized losses 1.65% down. And that's because I sold Amrize just below the price that I put the buy of Amrize in. But you know that it comes from Holcim, and with Holcim I'm up 69.96 Swiss francs. So there I'm hugely in the plus. Maybe I could put it at the max. Then you see that I'm up 114% compared to what I bought Holcim at. So yeah, you have to see Amrize and Holcim together. But I'm not hiding that I had a slight loss, so 101.52 Swiss francs of loss in selling Amrize. It's just the way it is. And yeah, with Holcim, I am up big time, so who's there to what's there to complain about? I received actually Amrize for nothing, and Holcim, yeah, it's still the better choice because I was going to talk about Amrize next, because I got a remark about the fact that I sold Amrize at the wrong time. And you know my principles. I will repeat my principle a lot. You can only decide on the knowledge that you have back at that time. And at the time that I sold Amrize, I believed Amrize was overvalued because they were going to come out with worse numbers than the expected values from analysts. And I wanted to sell Amrize before it moved down. So that was my conviction, sorry. And I still believe that I made the right decision because at that time I thought they are going to come out with a lesser revenue, so their earnings per share is going to move down, their PE value is going to move up to a value which is way too high for what I'm willing to keep Amrize at, so I'm already selling now. And if you believe you made the right choice, then you should not look back. And I'm not looking back now because for me my decision was okay, but I'm just telling this because I got a remark that I sold at the wrong time. And I still believe that at the time that I sold Amrize and I decided to use a part of the money to buy 2 shares of Swiss Re, that I made a great decision in buying 2 shares of Swiss Re at that time. If you look at the price gain of Swiss Re compared to the price gain of Amrize, it's more or less equal. So in that regard, I didn't gain or lose money with selling Amrize and buying Swiss Re. Only the costs that came along with it matter then. But Amrize was about 80 Swiss francs. So with those 80 Swiss francs, I could afford to buy 2 shares of Swiss Re with adding also 200 Swiss francs at the end of last month to my to my Yuh account. And now as well, I included a little bit of that money to buying BKW and AXA, and I still believe that those companies are also at a better valuation than Amrize when I sold it. But you see that on the stock market right now, the promises are worth more than the actual numbers. Because if you look at the numbers of Amrize, they were not that good. Their earnings went down as I expected, and they went down even more than I expected. But their debt turned out to be lower than expected as well, about $1 billion less. I didn't had that in the back of my head. I thought they were going to have a debt of about 4 billion, but it's more or less 3 billion. So that was a big surprise for investors, and that's why they were happy about the results. For me, 4 billion compared to 3 billion, it's not that big of a difference for Amrize, because Amrize is a nice company. But then they announced that they were going to pay out $0.44 in dividends, and they are going to split it out in $0.11 per quarter. So that's the regular dividend. And then I was a bit disappointed that I sold Amrize. I have to be honest, because Amrize is doing the thing that I want Holcim to do as well, and that is pay out quarterly dividends. And just because Amrize is noted on the New York Stock Exchange as well, they are doing it. It's an American company, there it's more common, I know, but they are still based here in Switzerland. Their headquarters is in Switzerland. So I hope that Holcim is one of the first Swiss companies that decides to also pay out quarterly dividends. And yeah, I don't know how they are going to pay the special dividend of an extra $0.44. I believe they are going to split it up in $0.11 as well per quarter, but it's I didn't really it didn't really read like that. I believe I read it like that, but I didn't read it as such that they are going to do then $0.22 per quarter. And they are going to use the billion that they have not in debt. They are going to use a billion to buy shares back of Amrize. So that was the next big surprise for investors, that they had less debt, and the amount that they had less debt, they are going to put that money towards buying back shares. I don't believe that is a great tactic from Amrize. I believe they should use that 1 billion to buy great companies in America to make their position stronger. They are doing buys in America. They rounded up. They rounded a buy a few days back. So for me, it's a bit double that they are doing a share buyback. I like to see share buybacks. For example, Swiss Re also announced that they were going to buy back 1 billion extra in shares. So they increased their share buyback program from 0.5 billion to 1.5 billion, which is great because Swiss Re truly has the money. But here, Amrize, yeah, they still have 3 billion in debt, so they should do other things with the money that they have spare. Either buy back their debt or buy companies that can improve their position, and that has more value for me than giving 1 billion in share backs, because Amrize is expensive right now. And on the other hand, when you look at their earnings, which were really poor, and then you also have the negative impact of the currency exchange, the results of Amrize would have a huge impact on the numbers of Holcim. And the numbers of Holcim would be terrible because of the results that Amrize put out. And because of that, when Holcim was still complete, like before the split off, I'm sure that investors would have traded down Holcim a lot. Compared to now what happened in America, Amrize moved up like crazy. So it moved up with 10%. And Holcim is then also being struck here in the European continent by the fact that in the EU they are negotiating of changing the emission rights. So yeah, this is going to have a negative impact on Holcim as well. So that's why you saw Holcim drop from around 80 Swiss francs to 70. Now it's back to around 72, 73 Swiss francs. But yeah, overall, Amrize, it is a nice firm. I said it when I sold Amrize as well. I'm sure that when you keep Amrize for the long term, you will make a profit from it. They are going to pay out nice dividends. They are going to do share buybacks. Although now I don't agree with the fact that they are already starting to do the share buybacks. It's too early, I believe. They should focus on expanding their business in America. But that's another thing. But yeah, they are now 49.19 Swiss francs and their PE is 29.81 right now. So that's way above the price that I want to keep a building company. And yeah, with Holcim, it's about 26, 28 PE that I want to sell it. But there we have a PE of around 20.3 right now. Because of the fact that it dropped, of course, it was trading at around 23, but now it's 20.3. And like this, I'm really happy. I don't need to worry about should I keep Holcim, yes or no, because it's still trading at a reasonable price. Not to buy it, because for that the PE is way too high, but at a PE of 20.3, I'm happy to keep it for forever in my portfolio, so no problem with that. And with that being said, I thank you for watching to this one. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. That helps out my channel enormously. And thank you for watching to this one and see you on the next one on my YouTube channel. Bye.